Hey folks, what's up? This is Michael, back at the grind on the graveyard shift, pulling 12-hour shifts on this gig for sure. Oh, wide awake in the wee hours of the night. Happy Friday, folks. That's what I'm talking about. We finally made it. Let's get through it. Get to the weekend. All right, here we go, folks. The answer to the previous trivia question was none other than the popular song and dance from the 60s called The Twist by Chubby Checker. How about that? What went down in history as the dance and the dance craze as it became known, The Twist was popularized by the one and only Chubby Checker in the 1960s. Now, there were bonus points if you were able to name him for the trivia question, but what you may not know, and what is a common occurrence in the music industry, is that Chubby Checker didn't originally write or perform the song The Twist. He simply redid it, right? He revamped the whole thing. The credit goes to Hank Ballard, which I kind of threw in there at the end of that trivia question, and that dates back to 1958. It was actually a B-side of a single release by Hank Ballard, and I think his band was called the Midnighters. He died in the 2000s or something to that effect. But Hank Ballard originally wrote The Twist. Chubby Checker just made it popular. And it was the one and only Dick Clark, who we all know from his famous show, American Bandstand, that had the idea, thank you very much, to take the song and kind of rebrand it, if you will, which was very popular back in that day. And that's where Chubby Checker came into the picture from a label called Parkway. Let me speak to that for just a little bit. If you can find one of those 45s from Parkway, folks, hold on to it. It is worth some money. Now, and they are out there. Now, when he laid down the famous recording of the song, however, it made its way into the American households by way of a live performance on American Bandstand. And this is 1960, right? That's how everyone became aware of it from this television show appearance. The song quickly hit #1 on the charts, and then the dance craze of The Twist took off and swept not only through the country, but people all over the world were suddenly doing this dance called The Twist. It was very, very popular. Now, jump a few years later to 1962. We're in the era of where the trivia question came from. This is when the song hit the airwaves by way of the Billboard chart. Okay, so it took off in popularity twice over, and this is where The Twist went to #1 for the second time. This was a huge and very significant and exclusive accomplishment that had not been heard of at that time. So it was a pretty big deal, right? It went to #1 twice, one in 60, one in 62. It set a record in this manner, and it stayed in the history books for quite some time. If my research serves me correctly, I think that is still a record to this day behind, I think it was Bing Crosby, White Christmas, that did the same thing. So I think there's only 2 times over that has happened. All right. Now remember, this is the 1960s. This is where kind of the trivia question comes into play. Rock and roll is kind of considered a taboo. It's a no-no. It's conducive to risky behavior. That's how it was considered. Okay. It was new, and it was a change, and people didn't like it. It was radical. So in January 1962. Which, of course, like I said, was the focus of the trivia question, a Catholic diocese in the upstate New York, Buffalo area, declared the song The Twist and the dance craze itself impure and banned it from Catholic schools. And, of course, what this equated to at the end of the day, as I like to make fun of that phrase a lot, they basically fell for one of the oldest tricks in music history, since this action of banning it, right, only made the song and the dance craze more popular than it ever was before. Congratulations. You just sent The Twist and Chubby Checker into the stratosphere by doing that, right? It's the oldest trick in the book, folks. The Twist became the second song ever to be #1 on 2 separate occasions, like I covered before. Bonus points there if you could name the other song, but I already mentioned it. It was Bing Crosby, White Christmas. And it's been a total, The Twist did, of 25 weeks in the top 10. Not too shabby for the 1960s, folks. That's pretty good stuff any day and age. But for 1962, that's pretty cool. Pretty good history right there. The dance was so popular that it inspired additional new dances such as the mashed potato, the swim, and the funky chicken. I can do the funky chicken. Man, get up on out of here and let me cut a rug doing some funky chicken. So there's a little history. I can't do the funky chicken. I'm just kidding. I don't even know what the funky chicken is. But anyways, oh my goodness. Happy Friday, folks. And come on, baby, let's do the twist like we did last summer. All right, folks, brand new trivia question right here, right now to get our Friday started and kick off this weekend. Here we go for January 27th. On this day, this is a good trivia question. Listen very carefully. On this day in 1825, the U.S. Congress approves what was known as the Indian Territory, which would clear the way for the forced relocation of multiple Indian tribes along a network of various routes that were collectively known as this. Good luck, folks. Have a fabulous Friday. Take care of yourselves and each other. Peace out.